Welcome to Global Vision. I'm very happy to have here with me Ariane Hunter, who is going to talk to us about many different things, but she helps a lot of women to just go to the next level, particularly women of color, and a lot of other things among that. Welcome, Ariane.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Bisila. It's such a pleasure to be here with you today.
Yeah, me too. And I cannot wait for the audience to learn more about the things that you want to tell us today. But my question before, the first question is, you define yourself like a career whisperer. This is the first time in my life that I just got into this term. And you define yourself like a career whisperer for conscious women. Exactly what that means.
Yeah, absolutely. So what that means is I am able to identify women who are at a career crossroads, right? And some of your listeners, your viewers may identify with this, kind of going along a career, checking your box, right? Doing the things that you think you're supposed to do. I've led a life like that before in my past life. I know what that feels like. So being a career whisperer is essentially being able to know intuitively what is going on in our hearts, right? When we come to this crossroads in our lives and our careers, we know that things need to change. Especially we're coming on the heels of a very tumultuous time in our history, in our generation, right? In this pandemic, right? So a lot of people, particularly women and women of color and Black women, we are reevaluating our lives, right? We're starting to look at the things that are important to us, the things that we value, and making decisions to leave things behind that no longer serve us. And for a lot of us, some of those things that we want to leave behind is work that is draining to our souls, right? So that is where I come in and really navigate that conversation with those who are at that career crossroads and ready to step into their life's work.
Wonderful. So tell us about what is the mentor circle?
Yeah, so actually, this is a personal story, and as it relates to you, I was inspired to create the mentor circle actually after working with you as my mentor for so many years. I had realized that, there's a lot of women of color who do not have mentorship in their lives and in their careers. I know I certainly didn't for, the early part of my career and for my business. And how would things be different, if I had sort of that guidance, right? That leadership, that representation, right? To see other women before me that had done the thing that I aspired to do. So I attempted to shrink that gap, right? For women of color, Black women who want a mentor, but don't really know how to facilitate that conversation, don't really know how to reach out, who would they talk to, how would they even initiate that relationship. So the mentor circle facilitates that relationship. So what it does is we connect Black women entrepreneurs and career changers with mentors if she wants them. So based on her goals, her professional goals, and her needs, we align them with other women of color who can support her in that journey.
Wow, that's so impressive. and and thank you for the credit, but the credit is all of yours for sure. Tell me about this dream to launch a book, and tell us about the book title. I know also that it has been a process because the book has been transforming in the journey for what I know. So tell us about what is this book now?
Yes. So the book is really, it's a manifesto, right? It really comes through my personal experiences starting a business, right? Starting a business that is meaningful to me. As a Black woman, starting a business, there's so many of us that are, starting businesses at rapid rates, right? So I wanted to talk about my experience of starting a business, the good, the bad, the ugly, right? So it's called Dreaming on Purpose, and it's a manifesto for Black women on starting a business and taking the leap in their careers, right? So essentially, I walk them through my journey, right? As I said, the highs and lows, the goods and bads, right? And I walk them through what are sort of the building blocks that we need to be thinking of, right? What are some of the pitfalls that are disproportionately impacted by women of color, right? How can we start to identify resources, right? Whether that's capital funding, whether that's networking, right? Whether that's support with finances, things like that, right? How do we navigate this this terrain, right, which can be so unpredictable, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I talk about the resources that are available, things that I have learned, right? And my intention with this is sort of to tell my own story, to bring more visibility, to people just like me, who are starting businesses every day, and to disseminate that information so that if my journey can help those that are reading it and so on and so forth, this book will have achieved its goal.
And what you will say that is the biggest challenges that women in color face here? I know that you're an advocate for that, and you've been extremely active, particularly after this summer with the Black Lives Matters movement. But I would like to know from your perspective in general, what is the challenges?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It's what I see most is is financial, resources, right? We are really great at having an idea, right? To take, work with, minimal resources, right? And to build it into something great, right? But imagine what we can do if we had access to capital funding. Imagine what we can do to have access to, other communities, right? That can support us and open the door for us, right? So that's the piece that I see is missing, right? How can we access resources and so that the playing field is level, right? So that we can have equal opportunity to advance our companies and our businesses at the same rate as our peers.
And moving forward, how do you see things moving in this country? What do you foresee changing, particularly in business and for people in diversity? How this you think, are you positive about it? Is there any changes that you have experienced? You speak with a lot of entrepreneurs. What is your view?
Yeah, I'm really hopeful for the changes. I think we have a lot of work to do, but I do see that the needle is moving, slowly in the right direction, right? I see more women and women of color stepping into positions of leadership. I think we're going to see more examples of representation across the board in a variety of industries. I do a lot of work with women in tech, right? And that's another industry that is disproportionately, impacting Black women and women of color. There is less representation in tech industry, and this is all across the board. But I am, I'm speaking with women every single day, those who are stepping into the arena, right, to really build out their dreams. And I think we're going to notice in 5 years, 10 years time, greater representation and greater access to resources. So I'm very, very hopeful about that.
Well, I love that we finish in a very positive note moving forward. And we thank you so much for being here with us. We wish you the best with the book, and I cannot wait to read it. Of course, I need to be one of the first readers.
Oh, absolutely. You'll get a first copy.
And we wish you the best in this mission that you have to really, really work with women of color and to change also their destinies. So thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.